All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Locker Room Sports. Glad you come by and hang out with me on a Tuesday night here, August the 12th, 2025. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I know that I am, and we're glad that you can come by and hang out with me just for a few minutes today. We got a good one. Controversial, the most overrated teams in college football. We're going to talk about that. Also, the AP poll is out. We got to give a good run by and look at that and see maybe how we were. I don't know. It was pretty close on some of them, I guess. Just some news and stuff for the week out of Georgia, Bama, a little bit of news out of Tennessee on receiver, and some news for Auburn and stuff too. We're going to talk about that, and a couple of quarterbacks that were at Alabama are now making their ways and their time to be known at other colleges. So we'll put that up there on the board. So first, I guess I think we could do this. This is probably let's do AP poll first, and then we'll go to the more insane topic. It's because it's really going to be really good. Okay. What's up, Ben? He's shocked by that they put Penn State over Ohio State, and everyone knows Ohio State beat Penn State. Yeah, but see, that's last year, Ben, and you can't completely base everything off last year. Some of it you have to feel like, because we got to have something to go by, and in doing when you have a hypothesis, okay, we're not going to go to science class, but when you have a hypothesis or something, then you have to lay out a case, and you have to make points to show data of why you're thinking this, why you're predicting this, and to know how many they have coming back and those kind of things. Those weigh into effect, right? Yes, Ohio State has beat them. Excuse me. But that's not this year's team. So you have to also take into other 50% of it as you begin to lay your case out here to give your hypothesis some identity and to show where you're right. Penn State has Ohio State's defensive coordinator, Penn State's defensive coordinator from Ohio State. And Ohio State got a defensive coach I think he's from the Jets. They got an NFL guy. And Ohio State also lost their offensive coach. Chip Kelly's at the Raiders. He's calling plays for Brock Bowers and their tailback, the Gentry kid from Boise State. So, see, you have to weigh those things into effect. I do agree with what you said. You did not make a false statement. But when you're trying to weigh out and do these things, like Texas, they only played Georgia. That was really the only ranked team that they played, right? So, to base it off last year, then you would think, well, Georgia beat them twice, so Georgia would be above Texas. Why in the world would they have Texas on? It's because of who they have back and their quality. Excuse me, their quality of player. The quality of players at Texas is seeming to outweigh the quality of players at Georgia. Stockton is okay. I like him. I think he's going to do fine at Georgia, and I think they'll win a lot of games. They're going to lose some. They probably shouldn't, but only time will tell. I have Penn State number one in mind. It's because of their running game, their offensive line. They did lose Carter, their big-time defensive end. Hang on just a second. Let me fix this slide. Okay. They're going to lose they did lose their defensive end. That's true. And Clemson. You think Clemson should keep their eyes? You think everyone should keep – I agree. Yeah, I think I had them I had Clemson like 3 on my list. And I think Notre Dame, Clemson, Penn State, Ohio State's the champs. And look, every time when Bama won it all the time, we had to, put them up back at number one. We did. I could have mixed any of my top four around. Okay. So you can kind of mix any of those players around. So we'll just look at the AP poll. Y'all have looked at it and run through it. And if you're following football, most of you probably do, since you watching here or it's Locker Room Sports. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up while you're watching, while you're just thinking about it on your mind. If you watch it on YouTube, hit the little thumbs up there. I'd appreciate it. On Facebook, hit the little blue thumb over there on the side. I'd appreciate it. Or you can hit the little star icon and purchase 100 stars for 99 whole cents. And you'll go in a little pot there for us. We appreciate it. Comment here. Ben always on here commenting. We're glad to see you here, Ben, and hanging out with me for today. I don't have much of a problem probably with the top 10 is probably about it's pretty close. Mine was kind of close. I had Florida not so high. I do not have Indiana rated at all. I'm not going to. I think they're fake. It's a fraud, and I don't want to hear nothing about Indiana. I don't hear nothing about them. I think Illinois and Arizona State are probably about where you could put them. I had them like at 9 and 10 and had South Carolina at 13. And South Carolina had a good run last year. They lost some close games, had some turnovers, in some early games that cost them. I think they had like 3 turnovers, maybe against A&M or something, and kind of put them in a bad spot. But I think they have Sellers is back to another year. Okay, he was really young. Okay, and we'll move on down the list there. I don't like Michigan that high. I got them like 22, 23. I don't see why. They're really putting a lot of juice in the name of Underwood there. He is good. Now, their quarterback, he is top notch. He's a great quarterback. I think he's going to be good there at Michigan. But we just don't know. Logan Anderson from 5. He's up there at Clemson. That's correct. And Brody Dalton, talk about Alabama there at number 8. He's number 89. He's tied in there. He came from Troy. Shout out to 5 and Brody, and of course Logan and them. And also the other quarterback at Georgia Tech, he played up there too. So there's I got some 5 Red Devils on there, and I had I had Georgia Tech in my top 25. Some other players around here you can note. Dominic Thomas from Ohatchee, great player, good young man. Got to talk to him at that 5 Piedmont game that night, the big rain game in the semis. Stood with him on the sideline, talked to him. He's at Ole Miss. And then Aniana's famous Fluff Bothwell is at Mississippi State. I just shared a reel of him somewhere over there on the page today. They were practicing and Fluff scored. So there's some guys kicking around there. And Mississippi State should be better. Levy called plays, of course, with Kiffin, and they'll get it figured out. You just got to get players. You got to make it. And they had like some kids that had never played SEC football at Mississippi State, and the ones that did hadn't played a lot of games. So he's just talking about a rebuild. He's really just rebuilding that team completely. Now, I had Bama at 5 and had Georgia I had Bama at 6, Georgia at 7. So I had Texas at 4. I'm just not a big believer in Texas. And I could say the same thing about Penn State until they really just show me. I don't know. What do you do with them, man? I mean, who have they really beat? What is their real deposition of what they've been doing? Notre Dame, they did play for it last year, and they were close. Like Penn State, they were a play away probably from playing for it. Kansas State, I have them in my top 25. SMU, I had Ole Miss a little bit higher. I had Iowa State. I think I had them at like 15 or 14. I think they're going to be good this year. I do. And Tennessee had them a little bit higher. And I think a lot of people had Boise State at 25, just trying to fill the spot. Greg McElroy had Auburn at 25. So, everybody's got their pick and what they want. And that's just kind of the AP poll. And y'all probably looked at it, and that's kind of my thoughts on it. Now, Here's the one that's really go over there on Twitter and follow me if you hadn't already. You got to get a Twitter account. Okay. You got to get Twitter. Just, it's free, it's easy, and you can pick what you want to follow on Twitter and just go over there and do at Big Matt 1977 two G's over there. And it's where I just go on there to I just go in there and have fun and laugh and just to cut up with fans of other teams and just stir the pot and just I'm just really on there just to be kind of aggravating. And I've reposted and shared a lot of stuff for some of the guys around here that are looking to get college stuff because that's where they're all at. All the college, high school players, and college, but a lot of high school players on there from all around here and everywhere. And that's where they usually go to make their choice of where they're going to go play college football at. So I would suggest if you like keeping up with recruiting and your team, go follow your team. All the coaches on the teams pretty much all have Twitter accounts. Follow them and just follow what you want to see. There's a lot of crap politics if you want to do, and I don't. I just don't. I serve a way higher being than anybody that serves any office here on this rolling rock around here. So I don't get into much of that. Don't focus on that a whole lot. Don't waste a lot of time on that. But it's fun. Hayes Fawcett makes a lot of the pictures and stuff for the guys, where they're going and when they commit. Texas A&M got a big commit today, actually. So that you can find that kind of stuff on Twitter. So this what I'm going to show you. Brett McMurphy, he's an old school guy, and he's been around for a long time, man. He's done it. He's wrote about more and forgot about more sports than I ever have. Brett McMurphy. And I added him when I went through this and looked at it. This is, you just read it for what it is. It's top 25. It's the most overrated teams since 2014. So in the past, just say 10 years, in full seasons, because we're starting the 25 season. So over the past 10 years, podcast listeners, they are claiming, Brett is, that USC is the most overrated team, the most highly overrated. He then goes on to have Auburn at 2 as being most overrated, A&M, LSU, Wisconsin, Florida State, Oregon, Oklahoma, Miami at 9, Michigan at 10, Stanford at 11, North Carolina 12, UCLA, Georgia at 14, Bama at 15, Clemson at 16. Then you got Arkansas, Utah, Notre Dame, Nebraska at 20, Texas at 21, South Carolina, Iowa State, K-State, and the most unlikely of the most overrated. So they're kind of saying probably this bottom row is – I don't understand what he's saying really. Because if you're saying that Ohio State is the most relevant team to college football, I guess. They did just win it, and that's they've won 2 the past couple of years, almost 3. But Clemson has won 2. But when you put a team like Alabama on there, I don't – and just Georgia just won back-to-back not long ago. I don't understand I don't know. Somebody please comment. Ben, help me, guide me along through here and tell me how is Alabama where they are on most to be most overrated to be 50. I would figure they would be like, I don't even know how you could hardly put them on here in the kind of run they've had in the past 10 years. At least have them 24. Because K-State, Iowa State, South Carolina, Texas, those bottom ones, 4 there, they ain't been relevant. Well, South Carolina, Iowa State, Kansas State have not been relevant to – Schneider turned the K-State program around, 20 years ago and made a difference. And they've won the Big 12 and stuff and whatever. But Texas they ain't been nothing since they won the Rose Bowl that year. Vince Young, that was in early 2000s. I mean, it's the game of the century. Usually always wins. But for Bama to be at 15, they kind of saying like they're not. Guys, all the years they won, I mean, the dynasties and stuff that they had runs of in 10 years' time, that 10 years' time, they won 4. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. I just thinking off the top of my head. Let's see. He won 4 in that time, right? And they played played for 6, won 4, something like. I mean, played. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you just want to make clickbait, I guess you could. It's good for that because that's what this is. I don't know what Brett's doing. He's an old school writer, man. This guy's been around a long time. I don't think SMU and Indiana belong in the playoffs. Yeah, I agree. There'll be a few high school football games. But yeah, Friday night over at Cedar Bluff, they got a jamboree with Lafayette and Sylvania is coming over, and Cherokee County's coming at North Jackson. Sandrock Spring Garden's going to Valley Head, and Gelson's going to be at Gaston. So there's some of those guys there. Birds, what's up, you old animal? Howard, Georgia, or Alabama? I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to pin that down. I'm trying to pin that down. What's up, Jason? What do you think about Auburn will be this season? I don't know. I'm going to talk about that. I do have some news out of Auburn about some players and some stuff going on there in Georgia, Alabama too. I had to put this up there because as soon as I seen it, I'm just scratching my head like I've looked at this for a while, and I try to give everybody an open. I mean, everybody has their own opinion to think what they want, and it's not like this list is. You can't really say it's wrong because it's somebody's opinion. But I try to get in the mindset of, where did he come from in his thought process? USC hadn't been on a run. I mean, but Texas had more of a winning season, but those two teams, they used to, really run things in the early 2000s, through there for a while. After, Miami won in 2001, it was kind of Texas and USC there for some time, okay? But, USC's had some losing seasons, and Texas has had some winning seasons. But, I mean, really, what are they really – I mean, Oklahoma kind of, I don't know. I mean, didn't they they were kind of taking care of business against Texas for a long time. I mean, really? I mean, remember they had the big deal and Texas got their own Longhorn Network. So Georgia and Bama to be in the middle there, I guess you just put them in the middle and say they're maybe not, they're a little bit overrated. But I guess based on, I don't, but that would be if you based it on like last year. With Bama not winning the title, because most Bama fans feel like if they don't win the title, then they're a failure, which is insane. If you're winning 9 games or so, especially 10, that's a great season. 8's not a bad season. So, but in the past 10 seasons, Bama owned all those years, the past 10 years. A lot of people didn't get to eat at the table because Saban was there. You think about the teams, good football teams that didn't get in and lost because of Alabama. A lot of good teams. So I don't know how he could say these are the most, how they could be, not in that era. I mean, if you go back to, I don't know, if you just did the past 5 years, I guess maybe Bama won it in 20, LSU won it in 19. And LSU would be higher. They ain't won it since Bama has. How are they more? They are more overrated, but I don't know, man. The Utah and Arkansas, what is he talking about? Notre Dame ain't done nothing. They ain't done nothing since I've been alive, since Montana left there the year I was born, like in 77. Nebraska run the roost. We all know that. Late 70s and 80s, they were the team to beat. How could they not be the most overrated? They would be way more overrated to me, Notre Dame and Nebraska, because They had times they were dominant, but it's been a long time ago, man. I'm talking about more than 30 years ago that Notre Dame or Nebraska has been relevant. When has Utah ever been relevant? Arkansas? Stanford? What are we talking about? North Carolina? I don't know. I guess you just wanted to put something together and it made something, I don't know. It made something fun to talk about. And it's just kind of head scratching me. And I shared it on the page, and y'all can go copy the image, download it, and take it to work with you tomorrow and chat about it with your friends. It's just kind of very strange to me. I don't get it at all. So here's your old round table topic for today. It's a good question. Hit the comments over there. And while you're over there, make sure you hit the thumbs up, like if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. What are some of the top current head coaches that has not made the playoff yet? Some top current head coaches that have not made the playoffs. Alabama football has been around since, I don't know, Ben. In the past 10 years, if somebody said who has ruled football for the past 10 seasons, it's Alabama. I mean, Ohio State got one in there. Urban beat them. Clemson, they won. And then the past two has been another Ohio State, and Michigan finally won one. And it's been a 50-year drought or whatever since they'd won one. I don't know. Auburn's got one in there. They played Florida State for another one. So Florida State, they're in there. That was probably one of the best. That Bama team that beat Notre Dame that year. Imaginary girlfriend, old catfish. It's probably one of the best teams in college football, in my opinion. I think that Alabama team and Georgia right in behind them because, remember, Georgia lost that game in the ACC game. Georgia slipped out of bounds. They threw it to a player over there on the side, and he caught it and slipped out like the 3. Or Georgia wins that game, they go play Notre Dame, and Georgia would have beat them too. So you're right, Jason. I don't know. That's clunky to me. Give me some names over there in the comments. Roundtable topic for today. What's some of the current coaches that have not made the playoff yet? I said when I seen this, first thing I thought was, and there's no really, well, I guess there's right and wrong answers if there's a player, coach that has made the playoffs. So that would be a wrong answer. But some current guys that you think, like, I thought Lane Kiffin. He's a guy in there that, has been trugging along and doing his thing. And they won 10 games, and hadn't gotten the playoffs yet. What is some of those top teams when you're just kind of scrolling through your head that just quite – maybe Beamer at South Carolina? He could be one. Maybe – see, Arizona State did. I think Georgia would have beat them. I think they would have beaten Notre Dame that year too. Beamer, Kiffin, give me another one, guys. Sark's made the playoffs. Franklin made the playoffs. Some other coach you think about. Michigan's and so some of the guys it's maybe all about Cristobal, Miami. There's another one. ACC guy that's just kind of left right outside looking in. So some of the guys, just think of some teams that just didn't quite make their conference or played for their conference championship or SMU. Their coach they played Clemson a great game. So there's some coaches, just a roundtable topic, something to talk about. Podcast listeners, if you need a podcast and you can't watch it all the time, you say, man, I got to go. I can't watch this. Just go over on your Apple Podcast, go to Spotify, just go to Google and if you got Spotify, which Spotify is free, and you'll have a few ads here and there, but you can type it in Locker Room Sports Talk and it'll come up. And I load the shows up every Sunday night, Tuesday and Thursday. I put them on there, so you have a way to get to those. Now, some news and stuff for Auburn. First, right off the bat, Simpson has been cleared from all charges of the aggravated assault against the lady. He was cleared of all that. I think it was today, probably yesterday is probably when they really did it. And we've heard about it today. So that's some news coming out of Auburn. And also their kicker, Auburn news, their kicker, McPherson, has been doing good. He's ready to go. So that's great news. If you're from around here, he played up here on the mountain. Good kid. I know his family, his dad, they're good folks. He had a terrible stomach kind of thing where he just couldn't eat. And he just got really, really sick. We're talking about the kicker at Auburn, McPherson. Some news on him. He's good to go. Everything seems good. He had a terrible, terrible time last year. So that's good news to hear also. Also, Alabama, I guess if you're paying attention, you haven't lived under a rock in the past day, Ty Simpson is the starting quarterback at Alabama, which is not a big surprise. Kind of felt like he was going to be the guy. Austin Mack is going to be number 2, and Russell is coming right along, learning the playbook and learning how he's going to fit in right there. Right, with Grubb and DeBoer and this offense, and it's kind of been really refreshing. I talked about this Sunday. It's a little bit strange. If you watch college football over the past, 20 years, and Saban's been the guy at Bama, and, he's a defensive guy. And his coaches didn't really ever get to talk. He kind of just went up to the front and told what was going on and give some injuries, or he didn't, and that was just kind of it. But it's kind of strange to see a head coach at Alabama, Alabama hat and jacket on, and he's talking about the quarterbacks and offense, and he's kind of, excited about it. When he talks about it, he's smiling. He's like, well, these guys are coming along, and Bama had a scrimmage the other day. Ty didn't throw any picks. Austin Mack looked good. Keelan throwed some also with the second team. He run around, scrambled, made some good plays. And Cole Adams, one of the little receivers, he made some good plays. Ryan Williams, of course, Ryan's made some wild one-handed catch. And Jam has talked about running the ball at the scrimmage. Very excited about them running the ball this coming year. And, Washington had their little tailback. He rushed for 1,000 yards. And they threw for, Penix threw for a lot of yards. They all led the Pac-12 and all that, and had a great award-winning offensive line. So, and Pritchett had left Bama, and he's going to be starting left tackle at Bama. And a lot of Bama fans last year, me included, I just didn't care for his play style. He played right tackle, and I don't know, man. I don't know if he was hurt or what was going on. He just didn't do a good job over there. But I think it was Vandermeer that he beat out for that position. Well, he's the one that's going to be starting. He's going to be starting that position. So the guy that he beat out is starting. So what does that say? Well, as a fan, you would hope that he got better and, he's stepped his game up and he's going to do better. Because if he lost out to that guy and that guy left because he did such a bad job, Alabama's going to have some trouble on the right side of the offensive line. I think the center, Browser, and all them, they got that locked up and they've had a good week. And, of course, Proctor, left tackle, he's a giant out there. We went through some notes Sunday about their practices, Auburn and everybody. So, again, Ty Simpson's starting quarterback, and Malcolm Simmons is cleared from charges at Auburn, wide receiver there. So that's good news for them. And, of course, we said the other day, batter's tailback, Pendergrass, he's the second team guy. Washington's their starting tailbacks, but Pendergrass is hurt. He will be out for the season. And I hate to hear that for anybody. So, more news coming out of Georgia. Georgia right now in the poll, you've seen they was ranked number 5. They do have some guys in some yellow shirts that we've seen during the scrimmage, and I think everybody kind of will, because when you're starting to get pads on and starting to hit, you're gonna get bent fingers and some rolled ankles and nothing crazy. Offensive lineman Tolliver, his ankle was a problem, and then Blackshear, the wide receiver, he's got a growing strain, and then McCray's is said to have I don't know, he's sick, so he has some kind of illness. And Georgia will kick off the 30th against Marshall. News out of good old Tennessee up there. Mason Rule and his bunch, they were at 24 preseason poll. That may be a little low. They're going to be good on defense, man. They bring back a lot of guys. And I know losing Nico seems like the sky is falling up at Tennessee. And I mean, they got a lot of those receivers back. They got a lot of players back. I think them being 24 is a little low. They're 10th right now in ESPN Power Index. They do have, they're going to be playing 4 ranked teams based by their schedule. They'll kick off with Syracuse on the 30th. It'll be a good game. The wide receivers have been missing a lot of practice as of last week. Matthews, Stanley, and Brazel. And then the cornerback, McCoy, he's rehabbing from knee surgery. And then, but as far as scrimmage stuff, like I said, their defense has been really good. And they had a kid, one of their receivers, Tennessee, he got arrested for speeding, man. Golly, these kids, man, they are just zipping up down the road or driving way too fast. That's just crazy. And I know, I was a Mustang guy. I had 3 or 4 of them. Raced, ran up down the road, lost my license several times, got me in all kind of trouble all the time, racing and stuff. So I'm not judging. Trust me. If you know me and you're watching, if you know me back in the 90s, I was racing all over town and being hoodlums. Okay. So I'm not judging them, but I didn't. When you're a football player on a big time D1 football team, you got to be more responsible. And those cars we had, the little Mustangs, 250, maybe with some additives and stuff, intakes and headers and stuff and gears, we may have had 300 horsepower. These new cars, man, these kids are driving like Dodge Demons and stuff and Lamborghinis. These cars have 800 horsepower, 700 horsepower, and they're getting tickets all over the place, and they're getting a lot of trouble, and it causes trouble for the team. It causes trouble for the coaches. So high school players, you get to watch this, y'all slow down, man. I know you're young and you want to rev it up and throw it up neutral and, but there's a lot of people counting on you and what you do, okay? I know you seem invincible. Like nothing can happen to me. It'll happen to you very fast and in a hurry. And you could lose your life or cost somebody else their life. So young guys running around here in the county or wherever you're getting to see this at. We have guys from Tennessee and Florida I've saw on here. Just be careful. Football season's coming, and you have a lot of other teammates that are counting on you to be out there. And that's not even counting worrying mom and dad and family and grandparents and uncles and whatever. But your coaches care too. So many players Georgia's had over 40 guys arrested for driving, speed and stuff. So y'all do better, okay? Just shout out here from Uncle Matt. Tell you, just be careful, okay? Be careful. Some other news about some quarterbacks from Bama. I guess, Longren, if y'all remember him, he was at Bama. He's going to be getting the starting job at Boston College. I thought he was I liked him. I thought he was going to be a good quarterback. And then Holston, he's up at Pitt. He's done a good job. I really liked him. I remember following him out of high school. I remember when he came, and I'm pretty sure Saban recruited him. Was that his or Sark still at? If Stark or Saban. Anyway, I liked him, man. He's at Pitt now, and he's done a good job. So those are some guys to keep your eyes on there longer at Boston College and then Holston. And then, of course, Julian saying at Ohio State, I guess he's going to play, man. I don't know. There's just no way, man, Ohio State. I don't know. Man, you got offensive coach and your defensive coach. You got your quarterback. You lost some really key parts up there on the front seven on defense. Caleb Downs is good, but he can't do it alone. He can't do it by himself. Kind of lose your backfield too. I mean, Junkins them is gone. And so, I mean, Smith on offense and Downs on defense, I don't know, man. You can say it's going to be the new great white hope up there at Ohio State. I don't know. So we're going to see, I guess, how it turns out. And check this out. You may not know this. I mean, you may know. The 23rd, guys, we're talking about 11 days. If you're around here in the county, like I said, Sunday, you come over here at Cedar Bluff, you just want to see some football. If you're just tired of seeing and talking about it at ESPN and highlight reels, if you're in the area, if you're center, you don't get to go to North Jackson or whatever, if you don't have kids playing, but you still want to see some football wherever you're from. The other guys are going to be up on the Mountain Valley Head, and some's going to be at Gaston. But Cedar Bluff's going to be at home. Go over and check them out. Just support some teams in your county. August the 23rd, the kickoff in Ireland. Iowa State's going to play K-State. Guys, Iowa State is going to play K-State. I mean, look right here. Right here on the OAP poll, we're going to start the year off with 22 versus 17. And I got them ranked higher on my list. So you're going to have a top for me anyway. You're going to have a top 20 matchup week 1, August the 23rd in Ireland. So I'm sure McAfee will be there that day. So you got some stuff going on. I mean, we're talking about 11 days. I mean, this day's pretty much kind of over. It's already 6:40. What about that? Iowa State and K-State. And those two, along with Arizona State, they could – so one of those teams are probably going to make the playoff. I like Iowa State this year. We went through their schedule, and it's not too terrible. So that's going to be a good game for them. Iowa State and K-State kick off the 23rd in Ireland. Let's see here. So, yep, got the players. Bama, Tennessee, Georgia, Auburn. And, again, your top current head coaches that have not made a playoff yet. Beamer, Kiffin, some of those guys. Let's see, who else on there? I can pull a list up here. Who didn't make the playoff? You want to say Napier, but dadgummit, that's tough, man. Florida's got a tough schedule. Will Texas Tech make it this year? Here's the thing. Let me bring up this last point here, and we'll move on. If just great players, just have a team full of just loaded with players that were bought, if that won a championship, A&M would have won it when Jimbo was there. You still got to be able to coach them. And if just pure money won championships, Notre Dame would win it every year. They're connected. It's a Catholic church, okay? And if you don't know, and you may be able to Google this, and I'm pretty sure I'm probably still right on this. They own more property in the world than anybody. Any other, I don't know if it's maybe not individually, but I mean as an entity, Catholic Church owns all over the world. I mean, it's a huge, huge religion. So just having a huge bankroll of money, Texas Tech would win it. It'd be Texas Tech and Notre Dame probably playing for it every year, or A&M. But just having a big roll of players and just say, well, they just bought players. They just buying them. I mean, it's talking about the philosophy of really winning football games. That don't do it. You still have to coach them. There's still something to football, whether I know it's changing, and the portal has ruined football because kids don't have to commit and hang in there and be tough and just wait their turn. Some still do. Ty Simpson has. Guys, he's been there like 3 years. He's waiting his turn. It paid off. But just a big roll of money. Well, I mean, the project last year was Ohio State. What was it they spent? Was it $20 million? $20 million they spent last year, or 30. Supposedly, Texas has spent 50. We'll find out come December. We'll revisit that come December and see where is Texas at. It's just money's just going to, win it true and blue and throughout. Yeah. Utah they've had some other good years, but that's probably the most notable year. They beat Alabama. Ben says last time they had a real notable year, in 2008. They went 13-0. And here's a Jeopardy question for you. Who was the – let me find my little button here. Did I take it off? I think I did. No. That's a good question. We need to get a spin-a-rooney wheel on here or something like. You could go to a Venmo. I see Kyle Henderson. Bama fans, if you like just Alabama football, find Kyle Henderson on YouTube. He does a good job. He's on every day. But he does a thing where he puts his Venmo on the screen and you send him $10 and he puts you in for a chance to win like tickets to a game or win a jersey. I mean, the jerseys are like, $100 and you just let him know what number you want. He orders these jerseys and they're Nike jerseys. Any feedback? What do y'all think about that? What if we did that? Maybe come on Sunday and, collect up some money on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday show. And the next Sunday, I'll put it on a program on here and I'll just randomly spins a wheel and picks a name on here from the people that would send you $10, to put you in chance to win a jersey. And if you want to win an Auburn jersey, I'll buy an Auburn. Whoever wins it, we'll just hook up after the show and you message and say, hey, I want an Auburn jersey, or I want Alabama, or I want Tennessee. I don't care. South Carolina, Florida. So, yeah, what do y'all think about that? I really thought about doing that. I think it'd be fun. It'd bring people on the page to, just pay. It's just buying a raffle thing. If you win, if you bought 2 tickets, if you bought 2 chances at winning it, spent $20 and you won a $100 jersey. It's pretty cool. But the coach there was Urban was the coach. That's where he got drummed up and started. And Urban Meyer also is a psychology major from Cincinnati. Yeah, I've read about him. A lot of study on him. Is there any chance that Gruden? Any chance? Any chance that John Gruden gets back into coaching college? He said he wanted to be in the SEC. Is there any chance of that, him getting back into football? What do y'all think? I think that he would probably be a good fit. But if he's wired up a little different. He is. He's wired up a little different. What is okay? So there could be chances of Gruden get back into it. And let's see, what was the thoughts of the season? I don't know about that. I don't know. Let me look and see. ASWA 2025. Yeah, I did a last week. They had their top 25. That was Max Preps. Had their top guys out. Let me see if I can. I'll probably do that on a preseason rankings 7 days ago. Oh, okay, yeah. And it would probably be, Thompson, Central, and all those guys for 7A. 6A's Parker, Clay, Saraland. 5A's Moody, Viger, Montgomery Catholic, Clay Central. 4A, Jackson, Cherokee, St. Michael, West Morgan, Anniston at 5. See, I think they had Madison Cat. That's pretty close to what Max Preps had. They had Pleasant Grove at like 2 or 3. They had Cherokee County at 4. 3A, they got Mars Hill, Coach Higgins, and then Coach Miller at Piedmont at 2, 5 at 3. So I think they had 5 at 1. Got Geraldine at 4. T.R. Miller at 6. They had them higher. 2A, the champs, Reeltown, Pisgah, Coosa at 3. And Coosa is available now to play the playoffs, by the way. If they go on another run, they'll be able to get in the playoffs. And then 1A, of course, Wadley and Leroy, top guys. Sweetwater, 3. Maplesville, 4. McKenzie, Spring Garden at 6. Okay. And Elba, that's where Henderson is from, that plays at Auburn. Who was it asked me about? Was it Jason? Okay, Jason. What do you think about Auburn this season? Be Freeze's last season. Okay. I think, and we did Auburn back, probably a month ago. We did them back during the summer when there ain't a lot going on. We'll go through each team like I think I would do too, and Todd would do too. And I think he did Auburn and I did Alabama, or vice versa. I think I did Auburn. So sharing some of that, we'll just put the schedule up here on the screen. Of course, there's an ad. Auburn Tigers. Hugh Freeze coming into his 3rd year. He's won a total of 11 games there at Auburn so far. This past year, the first year they won 6 and lost a bowl game to Maryland. That seemed to really kick things in overdrive the opposite way. Then last year, there's probably at least 2 games they probably should have won last year. They should have beat Cal. They should have beat Arkansas. The Oklahoma game, they should have won that one. They had it won late. They're not beating Georgia. They had Missouri beat too, man. So there's 3. There's no reason you can't lose to Vanderbilt. They're just on a funky run right now. So Vanderbilt fans, sorry, but I don't know if they even win 6 this year. Alabama just beat them last year. I mean, they was punishing them. When they were hitting them, and you could tell it. Like, I don't know, like they just seemed like they didn't want to be there. So Can't lose at home, though. But there's Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas and Cal. You can't lose those games. You can't lose those games. They should have won at least 8 games last year. That was probably the idea. But Freeze is as hard-headed as they come, and the boosters control everything down there at Auburn. Unfortunately, they have for about 70 years. I'm going to say this year, I like them to beat Baylor and Ball State, South Alabama. It being at Oklahoma, I'm going to say no. At A&M, I don't think so. I think they play them close. And I don't know if their front seven. Auburn lost a lot of good players up on the front seven. Their D-back, this year their defensive backfield is going to be a little better. And there's not a lot of depth. If they get some guys dinged up when they go into Georgia, they're going to have an off week here to clear their heads and get some people back healthy. Because I think they're going to be coming off a 2-game losing skid here, depending on what happens to homeboy out here at Mateer or whatever his name is, the quarterback at Oklahoma. Some kind of gambling stuff from like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know. I think it's pretty stupid because they can't prove none of that. Just because he named it gambling, that don't mean – he could have been gambling on video games. We don't know. If they got some guys hurt, it's probably not going to turn out good. But if Auburn could come in, this game is going to be – if they come in fully healthy, I think they have a good shot. Just because of what it says right there. These home games, those are all home games. They should beat Missouri. They're not going. They're not going to be knocking anybody's socks off. Arkansas, I think that could be a good road win for them. In Kentucky, they're just going to be pitiful this year. I just don't see it. I think Auburn goes to Vanderbilt this year and they get a win. So they come through a bad losing skid right here against Oklahoma, A&M, Georgia, but they go back on a good winning streak here. They might not win all these games. I would just about bet they beat Kentucky. I would bet money they beat Kentucky and Missouri. Arkansas maybe – because it's at Arkansas and their quarterback, that Grant, he's good, man. He's a handful. He's going to be hard to prepare for. And I'm not sure about the run stopping, but how good's Arkansas going to run the ball, So that one could go either way. That could go either way, I think, at Arkansas. I just think they're going to beat Vanderbilt this year. I don't think it's going to be a problem. And, of course, they'll beat Mercer. And I picked them to beat Alabama last year. Look, guys, it's just there's no rivalry when you beat some team, 4, 5, 6, 7 years in a row. At some point, and I shouldn't say that it's fixed or it's rigged or whatever. It's just bad politics for the state. It's just not good for the state of football. Of this state, because we're already dealing with enough crap because we can't get a lottery because of crooked politicians, because the guy that has the last vote, his sister-in-law, is on the freaking board in Mississippi that runs the lotto board over there for the casino stuff. So we're never going to get a lotto here. So that cripples us in money to be able to have scholarships and get high school kids in certain places and help and have funding for places because we're a bunch of hypocrite liars, these politicians in Alabama. And You can act like the governor don't know about it, whatever. That's just being naive and foolish. Everybody around us has got NIL. And if that don't happen pretty soon, whether you, and I know you're saying, I don't like it, Matt, that's wrong. You can't pay kids, high school kids. That's crazy. You can't pay them. I agree. But this the truth of what's going on. And kids are going, the higher rated kids is not going to affect all the schools. Kids are not going to be running out of a bunch of schools around here. But the bigger schools where all the big dogs is at, like Auburn High Schools, Thompson's, where all these number one guys come from Mae Jemison and these big schools where the number one wide receiver Morgan kid come from. Where'd he come from? He like that kind of those guys like that. They'll go to Georgia. They'll get an NIL deal, and somebody will be paying their parents for a house. So it's imperative, and it may sound silly, but I'm just telling you that it's just not good for the state for either one, Alabama to win a bunch in a row or Auburn to win a bunch in a row. I just think it's what's got to happen. So looks like I got Auburn win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9. Their 9th win could be the Iron Bowl. And I've been, this is not new. It's not a hot take. I'm not trying to get clicks. I've said this since way first of the year. There's a possibility that this could be their 9th win. There's a high chance possibility that the Iron Bowl could be Auburn's 9th win. Probably their 8th. And I know it sounds like, well, if you got them beating Bama, surely to God they go to Arkansas, but it's about matchups, about how teams match up with each other. I don't know how good Auburn's going to be on the road. Arkansas is not very good, and I'm pretty sure Auburn can beat them. But then I'm just be honest with you how I'm figuring this. I'm looking at times of the year. This is late in the year, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, week 9. And being healthy is key to everything. I don't care how good your quarterback is. Say if he goes over here to Georgia and Arnold gets dinged up, against Georgia, maybe they beat Georgia. And Arnold gets dinged up in the process, and Deuce has got to come in and play home at Missouri. They'll probably be okay. But he's got to go on the road in his first start over in Arkansas. I don't care if Arkansas is going to be 2-7 at the time. I don't know. It's hard. And Kentucky, they're going to be bad. There's just no way. And who knows, man? This Pava, he may show up and roll out something up there. But I kind of suspect that that Auburn probably, the Iron Bowl should probably be their 8th or 9th win. I just don't see them getting the 10. I don't see them beating Bama and Georgia. And they'll mess one of those games up. They'll screw one of those games up. They'll lose to freaking Missouri or something, and then they'll go to Arkansas and lose on the road. They'll lose 2 of them or something. It's something silly. There's just no way that Baylor should be able to match up with Auburn. They just shouldn't. I don't care what their quarterback stowed for 3,500 yards. If y'all seen my reels on Facebook, that I took shots for over a week from Baylor fans because I'm trying to take up for Auburn, just telling them idiots. Athletically, you don't match up. They ain't nobody in the Big 12 really that should match up with any. I know Auburn won 5 games, so they still got dudes. I don't think they match up well. Football's a lot like boxing. It's about matchups. Yeah, sometimes a short arm dynamite kid like Tyson gets in there and wins it because he takes the league by surprise, and the league probably wasn't at its extremely high best. I'm not taking nothing away from Mike. I'm a huge Tyson fan. I grew up in my era. He was the guy we watched. But it's about matchups. And Auburn Alabama game is Alabama got more athletes than Alabama. No. No. Even after Bama got gutted, they still got dudes all over the place. Bama's, depending on what's going on at that time of year, if Auburn's only won 6 games at the time, Alabama may be favored again to win that by 20. And they show up over there, and Auburn scores with under a minute left and wins a game. Football's a huge mental thing, man. A lot of these teams, and you can tell me what you think, a lot of these teams, not all of them now, of course, not Mississippi State, bless his heart. God, they ain't got nobody over there hardly. Shout out, Fluff. We're pulling for you, bro. I hope you have 1,000 yards rushing. They just ain't been a recruit. They're in a bad spot. But a lot of teams, the top 6 of most conferences, 5, take the top 5 from each conference. Most of those teams' players are kind of evenly matched, sort of kind of matched up about even. So then what does it come down to? Why does one team win over another one? Well, it's coaching. A lot of it's just coaching. Who's got their guys ready to play and show up in the moment and be great? Who has that? Because a lot of these teams are going to be kind of the same. So, yes, I like Auburn too. Hang on a second. All right. That was the old son there. I'll call him back. Let's get this time to get off. I try to go about an hour. So, but yeah, I agree, Ben. I could see them winning 8 games. A lot of people think Auburn could beat Georgia this year. Play North Alabama 20. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of people do think that. Yeah, look at Alabama. They had a lot of winning streak against Tennessee. And what happened? Tennessee ended. Yeah, I mean, at some point it's going to end because it's just not a rival no more. I mean, it's just not. There's no rival. Dude, Alabama beat Tennessee for did Nick ever lose to Tennessee? Maybe the first year or two. I mean, we're talking about 15, 16 years. Just that's no fun. People just quit watching. Fans stop showing up. So Auburn needs to win this game this year at the Iron Bowl because next year it'll be back at Bama, and then their fans will be fired up. Hey, they beat us last year. By God, we got to show up. And their fans are going to be hanging on. Hey, it's year 4. If that was Auburn's 9th win, they beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl. And, they don't make the playoff or whatever. They won 9 games. Huge. Arnold could come back. Most of the receivers will be back. Their defensive 7 will be older. They'll have most of those guys come back. They'll lose some of their other guys. Then it's going to be at Bama. And their fans will be fired up to come over there and try to beat them again. Yeah, I could see him. He better win 8 games. If Auburn goes there and loses to Baylor, I'm pulling for our conference, man. Look, Big Ten has kicked our butts for 2 years now. In a row. Are you kidding me? They've been knocking on the door. But Bama and Georgia has held them off. They've been knocking. We got to get right, man. We went through blue chip players the other night. And there's 12 guys left. And Auburn's about 3 of them's got Auburn on the list. Y'all better get those guys. Y'all got to recruit better at the conference, man. I like to have – why can't we have 8 teams in the 12-team playoff or 5 or 6, Dang. Because it's going to go to 16 maybe, I guess, depending on how this Petiti wants that 4-4-2-2-2-1. I don't know, some garbage he wants to do, because they play 9 conference. Yeah, but so what? Your 9th conference game's freaking Rutgers. That ain't no difference than Georgia playing Marshall. So what? The SEC's cupcakes, bull crap. They just play. Auburn's going to play South Alabama. Well, Ohio State's going to play UCLA. They ain't no good. What have they ever done? Get out of here with that. So your 9th conference game, what does that mean? Well, we played 9 conference games, but your conference crap because only about 3 teams is any good. I know Bama and Georgia's carried the conference for most of the time, for the last years and years. But what does anybody think? Ain't none of those teams relevant on there. Go look who they play. Illinois is going to be better this year. It's true. But I don't care about, and that has to do with this 16-team playoff because Petiti has got in his mind what he's going to do, and he said they all have to agree. So, and Sankey wants to keep it at 8 and just play like what was it, Birds, like 5 and 6 or something. Have 5 the conference, then 5 the runner-ups, and then 6 other non-qualifiers, something to go to 16. Alabama want to play each other again, and I guess hell, you don't know because remember there is no East and West anymore. It's very highly possible that can happen. If Bama's already won 10, which I kind of think they will, Auburn could be their 10th or 11th win. It's just my opinion. If Bama's already won 10 and Auburn gets their 9th win or 10th, and they're both got 10 wins, and they beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl, and that gives Auburn 10 wins, and Bama's got 10 or 11 because that's – let's see. No, it'd have to be – yeah. They could – maybe they're leading the conference and win. It's the top 2 teams. And if Auburn that's what happens. They might – a lot of people's picking them to beat Georgia. I got Auburn beating Alabama. If they beat both of them, they're probably going to get in. But now if they do what they have been doing and they blow one at Arkansas and then go to Missouri and get down there and fall asleep and Freeze calls bad plays like he did last year, instead of running the freaking ball, he's trying to throw it all over the place. When he had a good running back, and they don't have that back this year. Last year was a year they should have won 8. And I don't know how good they're going to stop the run up front. And all their offense hinges on the quarterback. All of it. This is bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Freezes at the plate, and he goes and gets Arnold. If he don't get it and has a bad game or something, it's not like having Ty Simpson, a guy that's just kind of a methodical, more stand-up. He's going to run it, and Ty will probably rush for 500-600 yards this year. But you're looking for Jackson rush for 1,000 and throw for 2,000. That's probably what you're looking at. Rush for 900 and throw for 1,900 or something like that. So, yeah, I could see that happening. They could. Alabama and Auburn they could maybe play each other again. I don't think so. I'm just not a Freeze fan. I like him about as much as I do Bobo. I just don't care for him. I just don't. And it's not because of where he's at. I don't care for him. So anyway, that's kind of it for today. I want to come on, jump on here about an hour and go through some news and bring up a roundtable topic or two there. But good news for Auburn there. We've been talking about there's some news. Simpson is back playing ball. He's cleared of charges, and their kicker McPherson's doing okay. And Ty Simpson's starting quarterback at Alabama. Georgia had a few guys out, had some growing injuries, got a guy sick. At Thursday, Burge, if you can get on, we could come on here Thursday night and do a high school show, and we'll talk about some border games. If you want to do that, Burgess, if you're still on here, we'll come on Thursday night, and we'll spend about an hour, 40 minutes or so. Yeah, they could. Rich Rod's he's probably comfortable up there. I hate losing him at JSU, my school, Fear the Beak. I don't know if we'll be quite as good this year in Jacksonville. We lost some guys. Our quarterback room was pretty good. So, hey, y'all keep trucking away there and throwing stuff up on the page. And UC News, go over there on the locker room notes page. Share it over there. If you got kids that play stuff, games coming up Friday. If you're at the game Friday or you know somebody there, say, hey, you get a picture or something after the game, put it on that page. That's what it's for. It's for you. It's for all you guys. That's what I made it for. Just for the community or wherever you're at, Georgia or whatever. Yeah. Pick'em show at Ringo High School. Okay. I'm probably gonna come on Thursday and do some high school stuff. Y'all follow Birds over there at Northwest Georgia Scoreboard Show. They got a huge following over there on Twitter at BBurge. Go over there and watch them and find him and follow him over there on the Twitter. It's at B and then BIRGE Burge. You'll see him on there and follow them. They have a big group over there on YouTube. They're on Facebook and stuff too. And any type of Georgia high school football, any of the North. I mean, it says Northwest, but they get up a lot of the Northern. And there's so many freaking teams in Georgia. And it's not like over here. Golly, there's so many teams over there. A bunch of teams. So y'all go over and find him. And I'll see you Thursday night. We'll come back and we'll do some I mean, if there's some news that happened through the week, something crazy happened, of course, we'll talk about it, like the McIntyre kid at Oklahoma and gambling something. I don't know what is the big deal. Can't prove it. It's been years ago. He wasn't even there. He was where was he at? Was he at Washington State or something? Or where was he at? He wasn't even at Oklahoma. And you don't know if he's gambling. He may have been. It says like a FIFA Cup game. They may have been playing PlayStation. He bet him $1. He bet him $100 on a soccer because the college football players, believe this or not, they love playing freaking FIFA on Xbox and PlayStation. They play that. Now the college is back out. They're probably playing that. But when there was no college football games, I remember seeing Trent and them in their dorms, Richardson. Them guys played soccer all the time. So it may have been that. I don't know. No kid. He ain't betting on his own team and stuff. They're just looking for something. And Oklahoma needs to win this year because Venables, he's on some hot seat, man. And there's rumors that Heupel's Auburn president's looking at Heupel. He runs the offense so well, and how he matches the receivers up, and how he runs the offense there at Tennessee. They'd like to have her at Auburn. Freeze come out there and lays an egg. What's up, Jeff? It could be his last. So, all right. I'm going to jump off and we'll catch you guys Thursday night. Thank you all for coming by. I do appreciate it. Love you much. God bless you. Hit the thumbs up and like. Thank you.